So going back now, you get back from your first deployment with UDT. You go to the SEAL team. You show up. You're going through the training. What was the? You kind of talked to me a little bit about this before, but how were you getting treated? Because you got wounded on your first deployment as a UDT guy, right? Yeah. So here you are. You're a combat veteran. You've been in the shit. You've been wounded.
We called it a Viet Cong Achievement Medal.
So you show up at SEAL Team 1. You're kind of like, hey, I'm an experienced veteran. I've been through the shit.
And didn't mean shit.
And the guys there, how'd they treat you?
Well, I mean, all right, just the same. I mean, I'd had a trip with UDT, but just about everybody that went into SEAL Team came out of UDT, 11 or 12, into SEAL Team. You know what I mean? Back in the day before they started bringing them right into SEAL Team, the new guys, you know. So it wasn't any different. There were guys there. You just had to learn. I mean, I didn't, you know, when I was in UDT, I'll tell you, I really wanted to go. Like when we were at Dongtam, that was during the 67, 68 tent, and we got a call that the East Coast platoon in Mito, which wasn't too far away from Dongtam, was being overran. Luckily, they were up in a tall building, so they held out real good. They were the tallest building, and they had a 57 recoilless, and you could hear the VC coming up the stairways. They'd throw grenades down and shit like that. And they needed some help, and there were about 17 of us down on that DART patrol on the USS Benawa, right by Dongtam. And we begged our lieutenant, God damn, let us go in there. We'd have been fucking killed. Our heart was there, but we didn't have the IED training, immediate reaction. You know what I mean? None of that shit. I mean, we'd have been, it would have been stupid. So Oldish, our lieutenant, said no, and we hated him, you know. Then I got back and went to Cadre or SQT and did all that stuff, and then deployed. Next time I saw John Odish, I hugged him. I said, "You are one smart son of a bitch, dude." Our heart was there, you know what I mean? But UDT, you just weren't trained to operate on land. You didn't have the prerequisite skills that you learn in SQT and stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you get more of that even in BUDS now than we ever got, because we were trained to be a frogman. That was it. I mean, our last op we did at San Clemente Island was we swimmer scouted in by Birdshit Rock, and I can tell you this, you know what I'm talking about. They gave us 40 pounds of demo, haversack. We went 26 miles down to the other end of the island, blew up a target, then came 26 miles back and attacked the camp. Guys, as we were patrolling, they'd ambush us and they'd pick out guys that had been killed. Pretty soon we'd all fall down and they'd go, God damn it, we'll tell you who we shot. Then they'd get to go back to camp and defend it when we came back and attacked it. But it was still just a demo raid, you know what I mean? It wasn't anything patrolling, real good patrolling tactics and all that stuff that you learn, you know what I mean? Like I went out with the Australian SAS in Nui Det and did a week out in the field. Oh, it was a week or was it 2 weeks?
Was this when you were at Team 1 or at UDT?
Yeah, Team 1, my second platoon. Two of us, we had the Aussies come down and work with us, and they loved it. Then we went up to Nui Det, me and the 60 guy, we went up and went out with them. We did a 10-day patrol with them, resupplying all that stuff. They never talked. Said one word. That whole patrol was all hand and arm signals.
That's awesome.
And they would get an LUP at night, everybody with their feet out, and you'd be laying on your pack, have your weapon right next to you, pull what they call the silk up, and you'd go to sleep. Well, me and didn't sleep for about 2 nights because that's when we usually went out and worked. Then we started to, because the way they figured it was in a real noisy area, and somebody in that circle would be awake. And if we got sprung or something, then you have 360-degree firepower, and then we can get out of there. But they were the best I've ever seen. I went to Army Ranger School, Radar Alert School, and everything. In that one 10-day patrol with the Australians, I learned more about reconnaissance than I did anywhere. You know?
Well, you know, we used to have guys from the SAS come to Team 1,
I know.
as a matter of fact.
Yeah, they did. We had that program for a long time, but there were the last guy we had there was an officer, and he wasn't worth a shit. But some of the sergeants we had,
the guys that were there when I showed up were really squared away guys that definitely had their field craft down.
Oh, they're so good on field. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Field craft.
Yeah.
We just in UDT, you just didn't have the field craft to be out in the jungle looking for people and shit. You know, that's why in UDT 13, some of the guys got killed and stuff down trails and shit like that. They didn't, you know what I mean. got to kind of have your shit together a little bit.
Yeah.